What is up? This is J&J Boxing. Today is August 21st, 2019. We got a couple things to talk about. Some boxing related news. Today is Wednesday, so it's the hour long show. We're gonna try to get 2 hours as close as we can. But I'm Blaze Jays, also known as John Amberger. I'm with my man Jordansky.
You already know it's me, your boy JD.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we in here. We got a couple things before we get into the boxing. I don't know if you heard. You probably did the XFL news. They announced the team names today, and should be interesting. Jordan, I want to ask: are you interested in the XFL?
Oh yeah, I am very interested. Vince McMahon has sold a lot of WWE stock in the past couple months here. So I know he's dumping it into the XFL. I think my opinion is that the AAF was a test run before the XFL was put out there to see how well the audience would take to it and to see if they can run on see how they would run and see if they could last, see if it was a viable market. I think that that was a test run. I think that Vince McMahon is going to come at it with a better approach this time. He's going to be more professional. Don't allow it to cross with the WWE. Keep that shit separate. We need to have football. You want to try to be legitimate. You're going against the NFL. You want to try to be legitimate as much as possible so people can take you serious. So I think it's going to be serious this time. I think it's going to be tight. I like the team names, since this is the area, the Washington, the
DC Defenders,
the DC Defender, the Washington Defenders, whatever they call them. I think that was a whack name for it.
I know.
Like the Washington Hawks or the Washington something.
Washington Warriors or the
Washington. The Warriors. I understand I'm not going with the Warriors, but the Washington, the Washington something though. Like something that relates to Washington D.C. Like Washington Defenders is so wacky. Hey, you gotta say the Washington Alliance is the D.C. Alliance or whatever. The Washington Alliance is the AFL team. What's the AFL team's name?
The Valor.
The Valor, yeah, the Valor. The Valor is
Valor.
I don't care. Them teams are so. That's a good name, I guess, but
That's all right.
the Defenders is whack.
Yeah, I thought the Defenders was pretty stupid myself, and I was thinking I was having high hopes. Like I couldn't think of a name. Like I don't know. I don't know. Give us 10 minutes, 20 minutes. We could probably think of something vicious. But I thought it was going to be something better than the Defenders. I think I'm with Jordan. I think that's pretty whack. Honestly, bro, and you said that you think they did the XFL as kind of like a test run.
AF.
Oh, the AAF. Excuse me, the AAF. I mispronounce things or I get things wrong all the time. The other day I said I said Ali beat Larry Holmes and Burbick. That was Mike Tyson who beat them. I get things confused all the time, so excuse me. But you said the AAF was a test run for the XFL. Do you think that the AAF was successwell?
I think that it
was just mismanaged.
It wasn't successful. It was mismanaged. Like, what do you mean? If it was successful, it would still be around.
All right. Well, then.
I think that's what it was.
Oh, it was a learning thing for the XFL.
Yes, it was a test. That's what it was, to see where they have to improve at, to see where they excelled at, and to also to see if the audience is going to take to it. You see how see if the stadium's going to be sold out, see if they can get people in the seats and everything. If you look at the games, you can tell they use the tactic that wrestling uses a lot. When they don't sell out, they would either dark out the stadium or they would not pan the cameras. Cameras would not pan to the whole entire stadium. Want to give you a cut short of the stadium. So that tells you right there the attendance was not that good for those games.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was, they'd still be around. Like I'm a firm believer that that's what it was. Like, come on, man. Like
they messed up when they basically sold the league.
I think they should have gave it to
the Hurricanes.
Yeah, I don't think they should have gave it to him. They shouldn't have gave him full control like that.
Yeah, but they needed the bread.
I understand they needed the money.
They rushed, and it was all just.
That's the good thing about the XFL. People listen.
And they have
one thing I know for sure: when Vince puts his mind to something, he will conquer it. So trust and believe that this time around. Because you got to think about it, Vince McMahon doesn't like being made a fool of. And last time, it was like he was a laughingstock because people took the XFL as a joke. I don't think that's going to be the case this time around. I think Vince is going to come out and he's going to come out all cylinders firing. I think he's going to do a good job. I hope that they, like I said, stay away from the WWE, because once you go into the WWE, once you start bringing those guys in there, game over, bro. I'm telling you right now, people are not going to take you serious. They're not going to take you serious. They're not going to tune into the games. It's going to be done, but I think that it's going to be a good thing, man. I love that they announced the team names, and I'm excited. I can't wait to 2020. I can't wait to see what the XFL brings us, man. I can't wait for the people that we're going to find out that go to the XFL. We got people out there, Johnny Manziel, even though they say he might be done with football, period. Colin Kaepernick's still out there. You never know. He can't get in NFL. Maybe he might go to XFL. People just anywhere. You never know. We don't know who we're going to see in there. Like, that's crazy. Like, I can't wait to see it. Maybe Trent Richardson will show up in the XFL now that he's not with the AF no more. You never know. It's hard to say. It's like really hard to say. Like, I understand. Like, I'm just saying a hypothetical. Like, we don't know who we're going to see. You never know. You might have given up. You might have given up on him. Anybody else might have given up on him. But it's the XFL. It's the XFL. Right. They might not have given up on him. They might not have given up on him.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I feel that 100%. And yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, but man, I don't know about like the XFL, man, because I'm a little worn out from the AAF, dog. Like the AAF, man, I just had such high hopes for that joint, and it's like, man, maybe when they start playing some football, I might.
XFL, you gotta either be all in or not be all in. I'm all in for it. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully they do a good job, man. That's cool. They got a DC team though. They gotta do a good job. They know what they're going up against. They know what their target market is. It was a test run. I just think that's what it was. They don't make it. They don't make it. I mean, oh well. That's another thing too. They don't make it. They don't make it. Oh well. Yeah. I just feel as though like I said, in my personal opinion, I know he's going to go all out. But I know somehow, some way, the wrestling's going to come over, and it's going to take a hold of that. The first day I see a guy cutting a promo, that's when I know it's game over. And I'm being dead serious.
But I'm saying we've already kind of seen it the first time. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah, but maybe fool me a third time might not be no fooling me. So hopefully this won't be any of that case. Hopefully this will be something different.
Yeah, but yeah, the name of the teams are the Dallas Renegades, the Houston Roughnecks, the LA Wildcats, the St. Louis Battlehawks, the Tampa Bay Vipers, and the DC Defenders.
You know what's crazy? The Dallas Renegades and the DC Defenders have switched names. Why? Because, alright, so check me out. The Alamo, defending the Alamo. The Dallas but I know it's not the Alamo, but I'm saying though. It's the Texas whole motto is defend everything. They defend the borders right there. They don't mess with Texas. They defend the borders as well.
Too,
I understand that, but I would do the Dallas Defenders and let the Washington be the Washington Renegades. That shit sounds so sexy, man. The Washington Renegades, bro. The Washington DC Renegades sounds sexy as shit. But I like the names though. The names are tight, and like I said, I got. Best of luck to the XFL. They did they lost somebody and then they gained somebody. I believe a couple weeks ago they lost the executive to the NFL, and she's going over to do something else for the team in the NFL. Then they gained somebody, so they it's a process with them, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully he sticks to football this time around, man. Like. Stick to football, and I'm really against them doing the little like having the ball like at whatever y'all was at.
That's not just.
Please don't do that. Please have a coin toss.
They got rid of it after.
All right, cool, yeah, because that shit was tragic, man. We don't want to see that no more either. Play football, man. Please, Vince. Like, just get. I'm not saying you're gonna beat the NFL, but give guys another outlet. That's all I want.
Don't even compete with the NFL.
I hope you don't. Like
but don't call it a minor league system either, because that's where I feel
give guys another outlet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Give them another chance. And so hopefully it works and everything like that. Like I said, with the AF, man, I had such high hopes. I thought it was a halfway decent product. I mean, it could have been better, but it could have been way worse, you know. These guys look halfway okay, I thought. And I don't know, I kind of like some of their rules. I thought it was pretty pretty dope. Like I don't remember any off top like what was different than the NFL, but I thought it was kind of cool.
They were striking.
And man, yeah, they was hitting out that joint, man. The thing was though, they messed up because they rushed too early, and then when they started running out of funds, they got some money from the Carolina Hurricanes owner of the NHL. But then what was his name? Tom Condon, if I'm not mistaken. He was all right, but they gave him too much control, and so that's what fucking happens.
What it is. What happens, man. You know who sucked in the AAF was Christian Hackenberg.
Christian Hackenberg, yes.
He was worse than Trent Richardson.
Yeah, now Trent Richardson was okay, but I thought he was going to take that lead.
Yeah, I thought he was too. All right, we both say that though, but I mean, Christian Hackenberg, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He was good at Penn State. They was projecting him at one point to be the number one pick.
That shit was terrible.
And I think he was a second round pick.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
We gotta move on from the AF. We gotta get into some other stuff. Talk about some other things.
XFL, man. That's coming up. That's coming up this year or next year, 2020. Right after, not too long after the Super Bowl, probably like February, March, somewhere in there. All right. So before we get into the current boxing, let me give a little background. I had said on a previous show that when we were at Muhammad Ali's camp, like 2 weeks ago or something, 2-3 weeks ago, whatever that was, I had said that I talked to the lady, Miss Linda, and one of the questions I'd asked her was because I'd read that Joe Frazier didn't like Muhammad Ali, and so I asked her. I said, "Were Joe Frazier? How was the relationship between Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali?" And she said, in quote, she said that they were friends. Cool. I left it at that. I'd read something different, but she said they were friends. She has more knowledge than me. And we saw pictures of Frazier at the camp. He had a stone there and everything like that, right? So I was up earlier this morning, I don't know. I was stopped sleeping, had waken up. And I was doing a little bit of research into it, and this is what I came across. And I shared it with Jordan. And I think that it makes Joe Frazier look really, really, really fucking bad. So, in '88, Ali...
Before you read it, it doesn't make him look bad, it makes him look
bitter.
Really bitter.
Bitter as shit.
Bitter as shit.
And I'll get into it. All right, I'll get into it. So, in '88, basically, Ali and Frazier, they were with George Foreman, Larry Holmes, and Ken Norton. A who's who of the heavyweight division, especially in the the 70s and the early 80s. I know Larry Holmes wasn't really a part of the other guys, but the early 80s. So big names here. We talking in 1988. So they met in Vegas. It was for the making of the film Champions Forever, and when Joe Frazier saw Muhammad Ali, this is what he said in quote. He said, "Look at Ali. Look what's happened to him. All you're talking, man, I'm faster than you are now. You're damaged goods." And by '88, Ali's Parkinson's was known, and I assume he was shaking and everything like that. And that's one thing I wish I had been able to see was the old Muhammad Ali. In my lifetime, by the time we came up, he was, he was in a situation, and so or was going through a situation, and so I thought that was messed up. Like, why the fuck is Joe Frazier gonna say that to a guy with Parkinson's? How do you say that? Like, that's so.
But then you gotta ask yourself at the end of the article in 2008, they
I was gonna get into it. Yeah. So it goes on for him. That was in '88.
Get to that.
Okay. Okay.
Get to that.
All right. Yeah. So, in other interviews previously before the '08 interview, Joe Frazier had basically insinuated that Ali's condition or Ali's Parkinson's was, God works in mysterious ways. Basically insinuating that Ali deserved to have that happen to him, have the Parkinson's and everything like that. And so in a 2008 interview, Frazier stated that he had forgiven Ali, but he was unable to comment on whether Ali's present condition was due to divine punishment. As he had earlier stated, God works in mysterious ways. That is fucked up. Like, not only did Joe Frazier make fun of Ali for his condition, but he said that he deserved it. Like, he got what was coming to him by getting Parkinson's.
He stated that he forgave him. He said he forgave him, but he couldn't make a comment on whether that it was divine intervention on
like punishment
on Ali's disease. That is a really that's a twisted individual. I'm not gonna say sick, but that's a twisted individual.
Yeah, man.
Like why would you
that's
not cool,
wrong?
Man? Like
he was really that mad.
He was if that was the case,
mad.
Y'all can come man to man and talk that joint out and talk to each other. Y'all could have met at camp. Y'all could have met at the camp and like a private closed door conversation. Like what's really the beat? Get it off your chest, Frazier, so he can know what's going on. So he can know what was happening between y'all that he didn't know, but you still held something for you to say something like that. And then they asked you the question, but you had no comment. You couldn't even answer the question clearly. You had no comment. So clearly you were conflicted about the question. And that is really, really, that's like bitter, man. That's real bitter, and I feel bad about that. That's bitter.
And Ali apologized multiple times. Like, Ali wasn't saying anything bad about Frazier. The thing is, you got to do that shit to sell fights. You know, it's not like how like basketball players, NFL players, and baseball players are for the most part, where you ask them about their opponent, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to go out and have a good game. We're going to do our best. No. It's not like that in boxing. Because the thing is, it's a fight. It's a fucking fight. So you got to sell the shit out that joint. That's how you sell out Madison Square Garden. That's how you sell out the Staples Center, by talking shit, by getting people tuned in, by getting people interested in the fight. And so, I mean, come on, how bad? What, like, I mean, I know what he said, called him a gorilla and called him ignorant, and they had their issues, like Ali saying mean stuff about Frazier.
Ali called him a gorilla, though.
Yeah, he did. It's fucked up. I'm not saying it isn't, but at the end of the day, Ali apologized multiple times, and Ali has stated, like, it was just to promote the fights. That's all it was to get people tuned into the joint.
I understand why Frazier got upset about that. You don't call nobody no gorilla.
But he apologized.
Especially a black man, you don't do that. That's really offensive.
He apologized.
I can understand. I understand that he apologized. See, now I understand why he was so bitter. And now I feel bad, because it's like I understand why you were so bitter. Like, you, as a black man, going up and coming up in those times where there was the civil rights movement, they were still being segregated, and they were fighting for their rights, fighting for respect, trying to get recognized, and you go on and call them a gorilla. Like, come on, man. And you were part of the Nation of Islam, so it's like that's not tolerable. You are your brother's keeper. I'm my brother's keeper. You shouldn't do that. That's not tolerable.
And people have said that and I'm sure Frazier, part of it kind of came from was that, Ali is kind of held in higher regard than he is, and so he probably was a little kind of jealous about that. And, like, it's like Ali came from, like, a middle-class family in Louisville. Like, both his mom and dad, worked, and they had a good life, going to good schools and shit. Whereas Frazier came up in, South Carolina, like, back in the day, like, when shit was segregated, and he went up to Philly and made a name for himself. Like, Frazier came from the motherfucking slums, came from the backwoods, from the dirt, and Ali, I wouldn't say had it easier, but kind of came from a better place per se. And so it's like, damn, why are you calling me this stuff when, I'm the one who had it hard. I'm the one who came up, we both worked hard to get to this point, but I'm from the dirt, I don't know. I don't know if it was that, but I really seriously think that it was because of the time period, the era they were in, and how it was so hard especially for male black athletes, period, to get recognized. It was hard. It was really, you couldn't still be with your fellow teammates because you were black. You had to go to you had to sleep in a different part of the hotel. You had to come through the back. You were treated like shit. So it's like, I feel what he's saying. Like, man, when a time like this, I understand we got sell fights, I understand that, but to call him a gorilla, that's crossing the lines, man. I've never heard Ali to talk about somebody else's family. Never heard him do that, because every time I heard him talk shit, it's been about that person.
talking about that boxer. But to call him a gorilla in that time period, I don't care if it's the 50s or 60s or 70s. You just don't do that.
Yeah,
you just don't do that.
I understand, but to be that bitter all them years later, though, like, come on, and you don't criticize a guy with Parkinson's, though. Like,
I understand that, but still, I can understand why he was bitter, because it was probably like, man, that's just, you crossed the line. Like, that's crossing the line, man.
All right, and we ain't necessarily gotta be besties, but
cross the line. You cross the motherfucking line. Sometimes when you cross the lines, it goes too far.
So Frazier crossed the line when he was criticizing him, when he was saying his Parkinson's, like,
cross the line.
You weren't saying that shit when y'all were fighting.
Crossed
and shit.
He crossed the line. You see how he was bitter from him saying the comments he said. I'm pretty sure him being called a gorilla by a fellow black man set him off even more. And if to be from, listen, like, and I understand, like, you probably like, man, that's bull crap. But to have it from Muhammad Ali, you're part of the Nation of Islam. You refuse to go fight for the country. You refuse that shit on the grounds of your religion,
Yes,
on the grounds of you being a fucking black man. Understand this: Muhammad Ali has also been known for saying, like, if my people can't be a part of things, he wasn't even going to be involved in the joint. He was never going to be involved in stuff. He was a blacks. When it came to black people, Muhammad Ali was that guy. When he went to Rumble in the Jungle, that part in the movie was, they said that was real. Ali Kumbaya, Ali Kum. But how can you don't call this man a gorilla, man? Don't do that. That's crossing the lines. No, and I was gonna say, for example, like, and we're gonna keep it in boxing, and we're gonna keep it in combat sports. Conor McGregor and Khabib. The reason why Khabib was so set off because Conor was attacking his religion. He said he was attacking his religion, attacking his family. That's crossing the lines. Deontay Wilder, that's my guy, my favorite boxer right now. Favorite boxer number 2 all time. Deontay Wilder. Crossing the lines when you talk about you want to catch a body, man. Like, you don't gotta say that. Why? You cross the lines. Don't cross the line. I think sometimes it's okay. You got self-fights, but don't cross the lines. It's some lines you shouldn't cross, and you know you shouldn't do it. But if you're going to do it, be prepared to face the consequences, whether it be in the ring or outside the ring. You got to be prepared for it. But I think for Frazier to say that and for Ali to say it, they're both wrong. Dead wrong. Like, they're both dead wrong, especially Frazier. Don't say that, man. But for him not to answer that question and to come out and correct whoever doubts it, to just to say, no, I don't think that this is a part of why he got Parkinson's. That's wrong for you to even question me. That's wrong for you to even ask me that question. He should have came out and said that to clear it up.
Should have been.
And he should have squashed that joint. But I understand, like, I can understand why he just left it alone, because, you know, sometimes scars don't heal. Sometimes you can cut somebody real deep where that shit don't heal. So, hey, maybe they made up a little bit, and Frazier just is like, man, I just
Ali
don't
was
heal.
probably cool with Frazier. Like, he had no issue with him. But Frazier was bitter his whole life. Like, he was upset. Like, he didn't really, not his whole life, but yeah, man. So yeah, that's messed up. And that's one good, interesting thing about boxing, I'd say, is like boxing was like one of the first integrated sports. Like, you know, with Jack Johnson being the heavyweight champion back in like 1910 or 1914, whenever it was, and then, you know what I'm saying, like, you had
like this.
Yeah, you had guys back in the day like you know what I'm saying, like Sonny Liston and stuff, and Joe Louis and everything like that. Like, it was yeah, man, and it's a global sport, like, so it's integrated global. Like, you can't keep people out. Like, nah, we fighting. Like, we gonna get the best of the best in here. And so, anyway.
Hey, look, before we go on to the next topic, on a side note, I got some insider info on Adrian Broner. Don't know if it's 100% concrete, but somebody in his camp, I was able to talk to him because I work at the casino, and, you know, Adrian Broner is always there, but they was able to talk to him. They say he's in the camp right now training. He's getting back focused. He's trying to get serious again. He wants to get back out there and get his name known. You know, he fights in October. I forgot who they said he fights, but it's some unknown name guy. They said he fights in October. But be on the lookout for Adrian Broner, man. Be on the lookout for AB. I hope that he can come back 33-4. So I hope he can come back and do his thing, man.
Yeah, hope for the best. Wish AB the best and everything like that. So now we're gonna get into the current boxing news, and I want to ask Jordan. There's a fight in 2 weeks. Who I think is the best pound for pound fighter, Lomachenko. He's fighting Luke Campbell. How do you think? How do you think that joint's going to go?
Lomo in 5.
Lomo in 5. Yeah, I don't think Luke Campbell's that.
No, ain't nobody.
I mean, he's not a stiff. He's not a pushover, but
ain't nobody beating Lomo right now.
Yeah, especially not a guy like him.
Oh no.
I'm kind of with you. I think Lomo gets him out the way. Probably in like 6. Like I said, Luke Campbell's not stiff. I don't know a whole lot about him, but I've heard about him a little bit, and he's halfway decent. I mean, he's pretty good. I don't know.
At the height, at the prime is he's at the height.
Yeah, I know.
He's in there. Loma is in there. Loma is like, man, that's the guy. Loma cool, man. I fuck with Loma. Loma cool. Yeah. He's a boxer's boxer. He knows how to get it in, get out, and he can either get it in, get out, or he can do it. He can drag it out. He has been in some wars, but as you can tell, he's been able to capitalize and he's been able to come out as a victor. Like Loma is pound for pound. Number 2 in my list, Earl Spence number 1, but Loma's that dog. Like he's that guy. And I fuck with Loma.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck with him. Man. I respect the Loma, man. Lomachenko, man, respect to you.
Absolutely. The next thing, moving up to the middleweight, Billy Joe Saunders. He's trying to come back. I know he's undefeated, but I don't know. I guess he hasn't got the fights he wants. But he just signed with Eddie Hearns and Matchroom Boxing and says that he's looking to fight Canelo Alvarez. What do you think about Billy Joe Saunders? I think
I like Billy Joe Saunders.
I
like Billy Joe Saunders a lot. I like Billy Joe Saunders. Last fight I seen him, he looked really impressive, man.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, the last fight I saw,
he's coming back.
And looked him up, and the last fight it was the fight he made. It was on YouTube, and I liked him. I like what he can do. I think that he can cause some problems for Canelo, but at the same time, Canelo is number 1 for a reason. Canelo is Canelo for a reason. I think it won't be an easy fight for Canelo, but Canelo, I think it still can beat Billy Joe Saunders. But I like Billy Joe Saunders though. I like him. I like Caleb
Plant.
Caleb Plant even better. I think Caleb Plant is the guy.
I think Caleb Plant's good.
Bro, I think
you got a couple good guys like in the middleweights. I think the middleweight.
Charlo, what's the one? It's not Jamal. I don't know if it's Jamil or Jamal.
I
get them confused, but Charlo,
the undefeated one.
The undefeated Charlo. I don't know if it's Jamil or Jamal. Sorry, y'all. I'm no disrespect to y'all. I'm
There's
sorry.
so many different boxers and so much stuff.
Charlo, I think that even him, I think that if he can fight, I want to see him fight either Billy Joe Saunders or Caleb Plant for real.
Yeah, man, I think
that's what I want to see because they are top contenders coming in the joint. I think that joint would be vicious, man. Like I don't want to see Triple G versus Canelo again, though.
I think
that's one thing I don't want to see.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to see that shit again either. That shit is done, played out. Oh, Triple G just agreed to fight the dude who Canelo was initially going to fight.
Was it Sergey?
The Ukrainian guy. He has the long-ass last name. It begins with a D.
It's Sergey.
Davor. I don't
whatever,
know.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's going to fight him.
So is Sergey stepping down to fight him?
Sergey is, I believe he's a middleweight.
He's a middleweight? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So the one thing, like I said before on previous episodes, I think Caleb Plant is going to go up to light heavyweight, personally. That's what I think he's going to do.
Man, I hope Caleb Plant stays at middleweight, and I hope that
I think naturally he's a light heavyweight.
I think he should fight middleweight. I think he should.
Gilberto Ramirez just moved up to light heavyweight. I halfway thought
his last fight he was like 190 something.
Yeah. You remember when he fought the dude Tommy?
That was cheap. Tommy, that was cheap.
Some dude from Pennsylvania, white dude from
though.
Pennsylvania, and he fucked his ribs up in the 5th round. And so I like Gilberto Ramirez. Like I said before, I seen him on back like 5 years ago.
Roach dude that he fought?
Huh?
Was that Pat Roach dude that he fought?
Nah, he fought the dude Tommy Carpensy or something like that. The dude from Pennsylvania, and he broke his ribs. That was his last joint. But I watched him on ESPN Friday Night Fights back in the day. I said back in the day.
He came in to fight at 196.
He wasn't that big either, son.
He came in to fight at 196. It was either 195 or 196.
Yeah, no, you're right, son. And it's crazy because he used to be a super welter or a junior middleweight.
He had like 30 pounds on the guy because the guy was.
It was like 20 pounds because the dude was 175.
Oh yes, the dude was 175. 195 and he was 195, like
yeah,
195,
yeah.
196.
Bro, they fight at cruiserweight, bro.
Son, like,
But
that's crazy.
he's not usually. When I remember him in 2014, he was a junior middleweight, and it wasn't like I thought he was like 170 something. Like I don't know, he's somewhere around there. Like if I'm not mistaken, like and so it's crazy. I mean, he's gotten a lot bigger. He says he's grown. You know, he's moving up to light heavy. I like Gilberto Ramirez. I think he's nasty. Like that motherfucker is nice.
That
Like
motherfucker is nice. You know what's crazy? You know, John always be asking me the questions. And you know what? We got like 30 more minutes, like 20, 30 more minutes left on this show. I'm going to ask him a question about something.
okay.
I'm a big wrestling fan. You know, just recently, NXT used to be on the WWE Network, and now they're going to be moving to the USA Network to compete with AEW on Wednesday nights. NXT will be premiering on USA Network before AEW premieres on TNT. That's October 2nd. So they have an upper leg. I want to ask John though, because he knows. I mean, ratings are everything. He knows about ratings still. Everybody knows about ratings. You know, in the comments, I want y'all to chime in about that too. What do you think? What do you think about that? How do you feel? You know, it's crazy. Vince McMahon was never involved in NXT. Vince McMahon has been on the record to say he doesn't even watch NXT. So disrespectful to the up and comers, and it's crazy. He is now going to be involved in NXT since it's moving to USA Network. I want to ask John, how do you feel about that? What do you think about how it's going to be? That's the
so
news.
It's like the Monday Night
It's
Wars,
the Monday Night Wars over again. It's
Wednesday.
Wednesday Night Wars now. You got AEW. You got the Young Bucks. You got Cody Rhodes. You got Kenny Omega. You got Chris Jericho. Man, they just signed my boy Orange Cassidy, man.
You talking about AEW?
AEW. They signed my boy Orange Cassidy, man. You know. It's crazy. I love it. And in NXT, you got my man Velveteen Dream. You got Johnny Gargano. You got I say his last name wrong like shit. I'm so sorry. I'm twisted. You got Tommaso Ciampa, the Street Profits. It's a booming. They got booming sides. Oh, I can't even get out the Undisputed Era. I'm sorry, Undisputed Era. I can't even get about that. You know, Adam Cole, baby. How do you feel about that, though?
Man, see,
how do you feel?
I think it's dope. Like, and I always think competition is good for everything. Like we say with Madden. Madden 19 sucked. I didn't even get Madden 2020, and it's because they don't have any more competition. When they got the NFL rights, nobody else can make a game, and so I kind of feel like. I used to like, I was never as big a wrestling fan as Jordan, but when I was younger, I used to follow it and a little bit, like, and I knew who the big stars were, you know, because they really had household names back in, like, the late 90s, I feel like, and so I think it's dope, man, you know, I mean, we'll have to see you were saying a bunch of big names with AEW. We'll have to see how it all plays out or how good the product really is. I've heard some good reviews and I've heard a couple bad reviews about AEW. But it seems like it's on the up and up. I mean, they definitely have the financial backing with Khan, the Jaguars, the Jacksonville Jaguars owner. I think it's dope. I think it definitely has potential to be something to, you know, be interesting and everything like that. So we'll see how NXT goes versus AEW. How do you see it playing out? Like, who do you think?
I think what's going to happen. I think that it's going to. I don't know if NXT has its hardcore fans. NXT is the better product. A lot of people will tell you that from jump that NXT is better than Raw or SmackDown Live. NXT is tight, man. They got the joint in full.
What is NXT here?
NXT is taped in a Full Sail joint in Orlando. Like
I'm saying, what days does NXT become?
Wednesdays. Come on, Wednesdays
okay.
on that WWE.
Oh, got you.
But now it's gonna be live on USA Network. It's gonna be crazy, man. Cause AEW has besides people I named, they have a lot more people on the roster. Cody Rhodes just came out and said the other day, like, that's not even half their roster they released to us right now. Like, they got more. They signed a deal with OVE in China. I think it's OVE. Yeah, OVE in China. They got some guys from China that's wrestling on the company. You know, they got the Lucha Bros. You got Felix and Pentagon Jr. This is crazy, man. Like AEW has a lot of indie. They have a lot of indie guys that people say they're indie, but now they're coming to the forefront, and everybody wants to see them. This is what we need. You right? Competition is needed right now. We need competition to get shit started, to get it back to where it used to be when we was growing up. Man, we had the attitude era where you can either turn on TNT, watch WCW, or you can turn on USA and watch WWF. If you were lucky enough to have TNN, where they were showing or TNN, TNN. That's a joint that used to be Spike TV. Spike TV before Spike TV was Spike TV. You would watch ECW. You had a lot of outlets. You can watch some good shit. You only got WWE right now. I can't wait till AEW comes out. I think AEW is going to do well. And to be honest with you, I don't want one joint to just succeed. I want both of them to succeed. Now, I hope that Ring of Honor, MLW, New Japan, I hope all of them do well because it's going to be good for the industry. That's how I feel. I hope all of them do well. It's going to be good for the industry.
That's what's up, man. I'm with you. Like, shit. Entertaining wrestling, man. If it's just another thing that's, it's something else that we can consume or, that we can watch and get into.
Because don't forget, Mike Tyson was an honorary member of DX, man. Like, don't forget about that. Y'all understand that, all right?
Oh, man. That shit is crazy. I was also reading, when I was reading about Joe Frazier, I read that he was a referee at one event back in like '84 or something like that.
That's crazy. Probably was a referee for WrestleMania then. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then was WrestleMania around in '84?
I believe.
Because in '89 they had the or not in '89 but '90 they had what's his name, Buster Douglas do it when was it WrestleMania 5 when Hulk Hogan versus what's his name? The guy. Oh yeah,
Randy Savage.
Randy Savage, yeah, the guy who used to always do the Slim Jim joints. And like, wasn't that Savage who used to do the Slim Jim? Like they used to have him, or maybe it was somebody, maybe it was Undertaker or something. One of them dudes. I don't know.
Yep. 1984.
Yeah, I was wrestling. So he was one of the initial joints. Like Joe Frazier was the referee. So that's cool that I don't know. I know things are a little different now, but that's cool. Like how like back in the day, like they used to have the boxers come in and be the referee and stuff. And yeah, that's pretty dope.
It's called star power. Getting star power, you need that shit.
I can't see Deontay Wilder doing that now.
It's not like people. Deontay Wilder, I don't think he's a household name.
Nah, he's not.
Anthony, if you go to United Kingdom, Anthony Joshua do that shit.
Oh yeah, Anthony Joshua's
Tyson
huge.
Fury.
Tyson Fury's huge too, but yeah, over here in the States, no, Wilder's not.
Because not a lot of people watch boxing anymore. You got to get people back into it, like.
And that's why we're doing this show, man. You feel me?
Pacquiao, Mayweather in it, people love boxing, but when they're out, it's like
man, they don't love boxing, man. They just want to either see Mayweather win. It's either his supporters or they want to see Some people want to see greatness, and other people want to see Mayweather lose. Like that's all it was. Like it ain't how it used to be. Like where like Mike Tyson, where everybody would tune in to the Mike Tyson fight. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would pay $50. To watch Tyson go and whoop some ass. Like I told you this story with my uncle. My uncle used to like boxing a whole lot back in the day. Don't even fuck with the fights no more, right? So, but when I was younger, my uncle, like in the 90s, or late 80s, 90s, he used to fuck with boxing. And so he got he ordered the fight, the Mike Tyson fight.
Century price like $49.99.
He went to grab the pizza, or he went to use the bathroom. He did something, and Mike Tyson knocked the guy out like early. I don't know which fight it was exactly.
Pissed.
I don't know which fight it was, but it was one of them joints. Maybe it was Spinks. I don't know. It was one of them early. It was like late 80s, early 90s. So it couldn't have been early 90s, but probably late 80s. And yeah, he ordered the fight, paid all that money for the fight, and didn't even see the knockout like when it happened live. And so.
And that's the problem with ordering them joints, man. They get boom. The same thing for mixed martial arts fights. That's why I don't order them joints no more. They boom, turn that bitch on, boom. Just a quick second, somebody get kicked in the face. Bow, he's done. Out. Just no counting nothing. They don't count that motherfucker. You out. If the referee gonna stop that bitch, you gonna get up, you gonna get up. You done. Yeah, I got the Pacquiao versus Mosley. I got Pacquiao versus Floyd. I got Floyd versus Mosley. I got Pacquiao versus Broner was on Showtime. I also got who else I get? I got Pacquiao versus somebody else too. Oh, I got Floyd versus Madonna too. That was a pay per view. So I am Pacquiao versus Juan Marquez. The last time when Pacquiao got knocked out, I got that too on pay per view. So them joints was the Floyd and Pacquiao joint was $89.99. I believe the Pacquiao versus Mosley and the Floyd versus Mosley were both $75.99. Them fights were expensive as shit. Like them joints is expensive, bro. Like you, and if they don't last that long, you do feel like you wasted money because it's like,
you saw the undercard.
But yeah, you saw the undercards. But when the main event come on, you better like, I want to get bang for my buck, man. I want to see the whole joint. When the motherfucker come out that joint, ain't got other plans for you, then it's like, hey, you spent $75. Oh well. Cause not you can't even add in the liquor, the gas or the food you get. So it's like, but it doesn't matter though. I mean,
what about when like Wilder knocked out Brazil? Brazil.
But was that was my Showtime?
Yeah, it was.
And it was I had Showtime, so that was okay. So it didn't matter. Like I had Showtime.
But wouldn't you be mad if you paid $75 for that joint?
Fuck yeah, I'll be mad as shit because that's like, damn man, I just watched this joint. This nigga just got knocked out. Why couldn't you just drag it out? But I mean, you going in there, you got your mindset to ready to watch a 12-round fight or maybe a 7-round fight, but they going there
at least 4
to go in there trying to be a 1-round fight. And he did his thing, man. I appreciate that though. It's all good. I'll still watch this, so I'm not that mad about it. It's just sometimes you just gotta know what you're getting yourself into.
Nah, absolutely.
That's a good thing about DAZN though. DAZN, I mean, it's $34.99 a month, and you get whatever $9.99 a month, and you get like all the joints that you want. I think that's a good price. $100 a year for unlimited whatever comes on there. That's a good price.
I don't even know how much it is. I don't think it's $34.99, but I don't think it's $9.99 either. Somewhere in between.
I think it's $9.99.
I think it's like $19.99 or
That's
something,
still
like $20
not bad.
a month. But man, I mean, ESPN Plus is $5 a month, and you get a couple fights on that joint.
But you also still got to pay for ESPN pay per view, which is $74.99.
Yeah, that's true.
Or $79.99 to be exact.
Yeah. That's just some baloney. You gotta pay for pay-per-view on Fox too. You pay for the regular Fox. You know what I'm saying? Like with the regular cable bill, but you gotta pay the pay-per-view. That shit's whack. Like I said last show, man. Like I think the pay-per-view model has kind of turned people away from it. Like I mentioned, how my grandfather. My motherfucker, I mean, I would say that motherfucker. But my granddad, he wouldn't pay for no pay-per-view. Like, he's not the one paying $50 to watch Mike Tyson. You're like, $50? I read about that shit in the paper the next day. Like,
because see, they don't want to, because they're older, and they definitely, I don't think nobody nowadays wants to pay $50 to watch anybody fight. Because they're so used to the streaming services. And, the streaming services are the best way to go for people. I was trying to look up to see how much the Zone was a month and also set it alone. But at the same time, it's just the WWE Network, $9.99 a month. You get all of the pay-per-views, plus you get the catalog of every show that they got on there, just for $9 a month. So now you don't got to pay a separate price for a pay-per-view, which will probably be like running around $49.99 to $79.99. Like that's crazy when you just pay $9.99 for it, right? You gotta weigh your options. I think that these streaming services are the best way to go nowadays, but I think ESPN Plus is a ripoff though. You're already paying $4.99 for it a month. Okay, cool. But you also want me to pay for ESPN Plus pay-per-view, which is $79.99. I don't want to do that. But I think that I think that ESPN Plus does. If you pay $79.99, you get unlimited UFC pay-per-views for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think that's just for UFC, because with boxing, like the Tyson Fury fight was on there on ESPN Plus. I watched that joint. When have they charged for ESPN like pay-per-view?
True shit, but I think that the streaming service model is the best way to go for everybody nowadays. I think that everybody should be involved in the streaming service model. you need to. That's the way that people want to do it now. It's no point of paying. Why would me and John, or why would you all pay $74.99 for each pay-per-view if we had a J&J app where we charge you $4.99 a month and you get unlimited pay-per-views no matter what. No matter what, $4.99 a month. So 4 times 12 is what?
48.
$48 a year. You get unlimited pay-per-views.
And that's cheaper than paying.
That's cheaper than paying for the one joint. Seriously,
Yeah.
the one joint $75. You just paid $48 a year for that joint.
Yeah,
That's the smartest thing to do. And I mean, everybody's doing it nowadays. Say New Japan, in a wrestling standpoint, New Japan's doing it with the New Japan app, New Japan World app. I believe Ring of Honor is on the Fight app. The Fight app is like one of the best apps out there. I know I heard DAZN has a couple of issues that they go through, but I heard that they're pretty good too. It's just you have to figure out what's best for you. But I think that the best way to go is streaming services for all this stuff. If you don't got Showtime, streaming service will negate the person from having cable. All you need is internet. So, hey.
Yeah, I hear that. Before we get into the fight in Russia this weekend, I wanted to ask Jordan, and I don't know, I've been reading on this. I'm reading on it a little bit, but like
8 minutes.
Okay, we got 8 minutes. Oh snap! All
we
right,
got 8 minutes, y'all. The 8-minute roundup.
No, I mean, you know what I'm saying? We have like 15 minutes left in the show. But all right, that's cool. We can go 8 minutes, whatever.
Oh fuck it.
Yeah. No, I'm saying. So, like comparing, like something to like UFC to boxing, man. Like how you like, and I know like UFC does comparable numbers. Like in some ways, does better numbers. I mean, it's probably more popular among people our age than UFC is and probably boxing and stuff, man. How you think, because like I've said before, I'm not much of a UFC fan. I probably can't name, other than John Jones, Khabib, and maybe like I can't even think of any other guys off the top of my head. Anderson Silva, Silva, like
Jose Aldo, you got Matt Richard, you got Matt Hughes. You got these are all these legends. Matt Hughes, you got Matt Serra.
I know
you
the
got
Gracie
Randy
brothers.
Couture, you got
Randy Couture. Wasn't he a wrestler?
No, Randy Couture is. He does. He has a wrestling background. He's a Greco-Roman wrestler.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So he's a UFC guy. Okay,
he's a UFC Hall of Famer. I mean, freaking.
I know McGregor. Like I know some of the big guys.
Forrest Griffin. Freaking. What's his name? Chuck Liddell.
Liddell, I do know him.
Rampage Jackson.
Does he still?
Lyoto Machida. It's like Shogun Rua. Mauricio Shogun Rua. It's like Rua. Sorry.
So about 10 guys.
It doesn't matter. I know. Like I said, I watch it. Like my favorite mixed martial arts is Brandon Schwab. Anyway, so it doesn't matter. So
Brandon Schwab.
Brandon Schwab has a show on Showtime.
Oh, yeah, that's him. Okay, yeah, I've seen him before.
He's a bump kind of. That's still my.
But he won the Colorado Golden Gloves as a boxer.
But in mixed martial arts, he was a bump. I seen him get knocked out a couple times.
And what's his name? Dana White. I mean, not Dana White. Joe Rogan had him on the show.
Yeah,
and they were
because they cool. Brandon Schwab's a cool.
And
guy.
but he was like so hurt because they were telling him he needs to retire. And he does.
He does.
I know he's been. That was old. That was an old episode.
He needed to because he was getting knocked out. Like he was like everybody saw him as one of the top prospects for the UFC, and it's like I don't know, maybe he just fell off. He just fell off. A lot of my favorite mixed martial arts guys fell off. Uriah Faber, as soon as WEC was gone, he was done. Like literally when the UFC, he just started fighting everybody. Everybody when they came over and they merged, he was done. Like just don't hear from him no more. Rampage Jackson, you don't hear from him. Retired. Andre Arlovsky was done when he got knocked out by Fedor. Like he got knocked out by Tim Silver. Like Jesus Christ. Like a lot of guys. Like all of my guys are old. They're done. Like my favorite guys are gone. But the sport is good. Like the sport, I like the sport. The sport is tight. The joint is vicious, man. I think that UFC and boxing, you can't compare them because it's like there's no comparing that joint. When you can take somebody to the ground, submit them, You can't do that in boxing. It's all about stand up. It's all about movement, head movement, leg movement. It's all about me doing this. It's me versus you. Who can last the longest? It's stamina. It's about power, strength, speed. Going 12 rounds, 10, 12, 8, 6, whatever. 4. It's all about doing that. I don't have the ability to take you to the ground if I don't want to stand you up. So I don't have no comparison on it. I think that they both serve their purpose in the combat sports realm. I think that boxing's been around a little bit longer, a lot longer. Yeah, and I just found out about the freaking when they call that joint the something rules. What is it called? Damn, I forgot this shit's called. There's a guy in England. He was
back in the day, the old rules. That's where boxing developed.
Yeah, that's where because he was a big fan of it and like he supported. Like boxing has an enriched history, man. Like in mixed martial arts, don't get me wrong, mixed martial arts you have a lot of
history, whereas boxing has
but mixed martial arts you have a lot of arts of combat sports. You have judo, you have Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you can do karate,
and that's originally what it was, like the determined
wrestling. Which one was the best? Like you can stand up.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Now guys have developed it.
But if a motherfucker like Deontay Wilder hits you with one of them rights and you fall down, there's no let me get up and try to grapple this motherfucker, or let me try to take him down to get my shit together. Nah, you gotta stand up and you gotta hit him. You gotta do that. So I don't see no comparison in it. I got respect for both sides of the sports. I got respect for everybody that's in it. I just don't see no comparison. I think that boxing's been around a lot longer. And no matter what nobody says, I feel boxing will be here even longer than UFC. Getting mixed martial arts will, because it's boxing. It's been around. People fight with their hands like it's boxing.
That's like saying, no tackling the guy. Yeah, y'all just gonna square it out. You're gonna duke it out. Like
boxing, that's gonna be around a lot longer than that. So that's how I feel. So that's just me. I know judo's been along. Krav Maga and judo, they've been along. Krav Maga is I believe that's the Russians actually trained their guys or that shit. But that's here nor there. But all I'm saying is that those been around a long time too. Karate, Krav Maga, judo, but boxing will never go away.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And so. see, I like boxing better because I don't know. I mean, you can say UFC is more like a street fight, but is it really? I mean, in a street fight, you can bite, and you can eye gouge, and you can throat punch, and
you're not taking somebody. You're not going in. You're not. I mean, no. I mean, you
fight,
are thinking to swoop somebody in a street fight because you're going to think about taking somebody down so you can get the advantage. But at the same time, you're not thinking.
You
about
might start off punching, but then
you're not thinking about somebody. You're not thinking about putting somebody in the armbar, in the Kimura. You're not thinking about putting somebody in the guillotine.
So it's different.
You're not thinking about doing takedowns and trying to block it. You are trying to block a takedown, but you're not thinking about doing like multiple takedowns, get them off, multiple takedowns. It's totally different.
And see, I've seen some dope UFC fights. Hanging with Jordan, I've definitely seen some dope fights. But man, it's just I think I've seen more great fights in boxing. Like I don't know, I like the chess match of it. Like even if it's not necessarily a chess match, I love a brutal knockout. Whereas like I feel like it happens in UFC. Like you saw the guy get kicked. Ben Askew, whatever his name is, got kicked and stuff like that. But man, I like to see the guy get punched, like how Wilder beat Brazil and hit him with that straight. Like that shit was tough. Like I love that shit. Or love the battles Muhammad Ali went through with Ron Lyle or Joe Frazier or Ken Norton or Leon Spinks or anything like that. So you know what I'm saying? I don't know. To me, I put boxing on a higher level.
I do too. Boxing's on a higher level than UFC. Mixed martial arts is okay, but you know what I'm saying? I like boxing.
Yeah, man. And boxing has its issues, but it's a different business model than UFC. But anyway, just our opinions. The last thing I want to end the show with, I want to talk about Kovalev versus Yarde this weekend. And a lot of people think that what's his name gonna win? Yarde. Like I was looking at the poll on Three Kings Boxing. Man, what you think? How you think that joint gonna go?
Kovalev for Stevenson, right?
Yes.
Kovalev gonna win.
I believe so too, but he is like 36.
It doesn't matter. Kovalev's gonna win.
He lost his last. He didn't lose his last fight because he won the rematch. He fought some guy.
I got Kovalev winning in split decision. That's
split decision.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna say Kovalev's gonna dominate him like he dominated Stevenson, but Kovalev is a dangerous boxer, man. It's because he old don't mean he can't box. So Watch out, y'all.
He a British dude, man. He actually a day younger than me, so he's 28.
Cool. Yeah, that's
so
right.
he's 8 years younger than Kovalev, though.
Kovalev gonna lay them things on him. Kovalev gonna try to beat him out the whole time around. He's gonna try to do a slow. He's gonna try to do a methodical fight. He's gonna try to beat his body, try to slow him down because he knows he's the younger fighter. Slow him down. He's gonna try to work to his advantages and take advantage of his disadvantages. So. He's going to capitalize. I think Kovalev comes out and he wins split decision. That's how I feel.
I think he probably wins majority decision. Maybe one.
I'll give y'all a split decision.
Yeah,
you gotta give him because he is a younger fighter.
Man, but he hasn't fought anybody.
I understand. That's why I said Kovalev is going to win. That's like you can't.
The one guy gave Kovalev problems. Kovalev had to rematch him to get his belt back. And anyway, so should be interesting. That fight's going to take this week. That fight is going to take place on Saturday in Russia. Should be entertaining. Kovalev, he's from Russia, whereas Yarde, he's British. And anyway, should be interesting. Should be dope. See how it all plays out. We're going to do the show on Saturday after the fights, break them all down, talk about what happened and everything like that. So anyway, that's the end of the show. Jordan, I don't know if you wanted to add anything about any of that or about wrestling or anything, how you want to
Oh, no, nothing about wrestling. Nothing going on. Just make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and keep on going. And just remember, boxing's not dead, it's still alive, all right? And just keep on.
keep on keeping on.
Yeah, keep on keeping on. And seriously though, boxing's not dead, it's still alive. It takes people like us and take people like y'all, the fans.
I love Max on Max Boxing. Yeah. Shout out to Rummy's Corner.
Trying to keep it out there. Yeah, all them. Rummy's Corner, Max on Boxing, Max Kellerman, shout out. Even shout out to your boy that does the football joints. What's his name?
Chess Tour.
Nah. The one guy at the YouTube channel. What's his name?
Femlo Raps.
Femlo Raps. Even shout out to people like that keep people informed and keep people up to date.
Absolutely.
To see what's going on, man. We got to keep that stuff going, and the boxing community needs it. We appreciate y'all for giving us a shot and giving us a chance. Continue to support. Like I said, please, once again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and, hit that bell button so you can keep us, so you can be updated. All right.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what's shocking? We ain't even talk about like Anthony Joshua or
we don't need to talk about them. Man, we'll find out what's
Fury.
going on.
I don't think we even talked about any of them.
We don't need to talk about none of that. We'll figure out what's going on next. We'll figure out what's going on Saturday. See if there's any updates on them. Don't worry about it. All right.
But good show. Appreciate everybody for watching, and like I said, like, subscribe, and keep tuning in.
Make sure you hit that bell. All right.